Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and the topic that we have now is very, very important because there is so much confusion around this, and what I'm going to offer you is actually correct. And as we get into the topic, which is who comes first in a marriage, spouse or child, you will realize that the way we approach marriage at the Marriage Foundation is so different because I started out as a divorce mediator. The truth be known, it was over 20 years ago, and I started helping couples, and I could never go back because I realized most people have no idea even how to be married. And it's so vital. We have so many subscribers now, and we get emails telling us how appreciative you are, and I'm appreciative that you're appreciative because this knowledge is important. So this topic, first of all, let's recognize something. When you have a child, until they pop out, you have no idea who they are. And unless you did some tests ahead of time, you don't even know their gender. You don't know them. It is a tremendous sacrifice and offering that you're making. And you could put it in any context that you want. You could say that you're sacrificing all of your time and lots of money and energy and a lot of emotions for this child, and maybe you're doing it to serve God. Many people do. Most people are expecting this treasure from heaven, and it's not always a treasure, is it, when you have a child? Sometimes, you're there and you feel so responsible for them, don't you? I'm going to repeat that because this is the key. You feel so much responsibility. Yes, of course, you feel love for them too. That's something that you cultivate, that comes naturally. But you feel responsible. There's a compulsion. You see, we are spiritual beings. We're souls. We have a body, we have a mind, but we're essentially souls. Now, when we have a body, it really ends up having us. And the same with the mind. The mind ends up having us. Follow me on this. You're supposed to own your mind. You're supposed to master your mind, but we're never taught any of this. And I'm not blaming anybody, but we're not taught that we are supposed to master our minds. In fact, the thinking today is so upside down that we are supposed to honor our emotions, which is insane. Because our emotions are software in the mind. We're supposed to master our mind. We're supposed to use our mind, but we have become slaves to our emotions, slaves to our feelings. And where does this come in with children? With children, it is a great sacrifice. It is. And they're not really your kids. You didn't create them. God creates all of us. Like I said before, you don't even know what you've got in your belly if you're the woman, and yet you love them so much when they're born. And you feel responsible. You feel responsible because the body is comprised of 1 trillion cells, and every cell is driven by self-preservation. We know that. That's sort of like how you know something is alive. Part of self-preservation, this drive to survive, is twofold. One, we survive by making sure we have oxygen and water and food and shelter and all of that. The other is we're seeking always opportunity, and the other is procreation. Because survival is easier when we're in a community, and so the natural drive to survive compels us to have children. Most of us don't do it out of love. We think we do, but it's driven by our bodies. So Your spouse is your soulmate. You encountered them. You might have been on a dating site, or your uncle introduced you, or a friend, or you met them at college or at Starbucks. It doesn't matter. There's this giant metaphysical computer that has us bump into each other. And you met your soulmate. And you were so excited to see them. And because of massive amounts of ignorance, we talk about it as if we become infatuated, but that's not what it is. It's the thrill of being reunited with your soulmate. That's what it is. And what you do is you fall in love with your soulmate, of course. And how many times have you heard the story, I knew I was going to marry them the minute I laid eyes on them? Because there's a recognition. We have levels of memory. Some of our memory is short-term, it's like a computer. Some is long-term. Some is stuck in the motherboard, and it stays with us from incarnation to incarnation, and that's where they were. And now you find them, they find you, and you love them. And this is going to be more important than answering the question. I think that you already know the answer. The answer is you love your spouse with an unconditional love. There's no compulsion. And when you cultivate that love, it is off the charts, because you are two of you on a very spiritual path to achieve joy, which is what a spiritual path is for, and love. You talk to any saint and ask them, why are they seeking God? Those are the two reasons, joy and love. Why did you get married? Joy and love. Same thing. You're on a spiritual path with your soulmate. And then these children come along. You're serving by taking care of them. Great. But who comes first? Who comes first? You can answer that yourself. I don't think it's my place to actually answer that for you. But be careful. These days, there is plenty of noise coming from these kids saying, hey, you're my parent. You have to this, you have to that, blah, 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 blah. And they are sincere. They mean it. And they don't love you unless you're taking care of them. Ooh, what about that? You think they would, but try cutting them off from some of the material gifts that you're giving them. Watch what happens. They become quite angry with you. So you choose who you're going to put first. Now, the whole idea of being married is to achieve these higher states of consciousness. That means that instead of living your lives on the mundane plane where cause and effect and habits and defenses rule you, turn over yourselves to love. Be in love. Experience that higher state of consciousness we call love. Cultivate the love that you have for your spouse. You know you don't have to cultivate that love that you have for your children, because how dependent they are upon you, and that relationship it's really driven by biology more than anything else. So that's it. Now, I hope you like this video. I definitely hope you subscribe to this channel so you could really learn about marriage. And I hope if you are a therapist, many therapists are subscribers, many clergy are subscribers, relationship coaches, and why not become a TMF counselor? Because I'm working on developing an online course to train, and it'll be very full. It'll be training all the way from having the correct philosophies, the correct information, understanding marriage from the bottom to the top, understanding how to build the business, understanding all of it, the whole thing, because I did it, been there, done that, and we're different. TMF, the Marriage Foundation, is unique, and when you're going to be part of the TMF family, you'll be doing the same things that all the other TMFers are doing. It won't be like it is with traditional marriage counselors and therapists where you never know what you're going to get. People will know. You'll be listed on the website. We'll have great advertising programs. It's going to be very, very cool. So I invite you to look at that. It's going to be on the website in just a couple of weeks. Chances are those couple of weeks have long gone and you're watching this video much later. So take a look at the website, look for TMF counselor training, and sign up if it appeals to you. Okay, so thank you for joining me. God bless you. Take care. Thank you.